I started gymnastics when I was 7. I made my first world's team in 2014. I was 11 years old. I'm a current athlete representative for USA Gymnastics, and a lot of times people will report instances of abuse, assault, and my job is just to be the voice for people that can't really have a voice themselves. I was already dealing with a lot of injuries. I still want to walk when I'm 40, and I still want to be able to do all these other things as well.
I'm Travis Purdy, an alcoholic in recovery dedicated to giving back to the community that saved me. Join me and my incredible guests on our mission to break the stigma around mental health. One conversation at a time. This is Listen to Your Heart. Welcome to Listen to Your Heart, a mental health show from a mental health company. My name is Travis Purdy, and today I have Kayttie Nakamura, very interesting guest for here, because she is a 2-time world champion gymnast. Love that. And now she's a case manager and future psychologist, which obviously we really love that. So Kayttie, thanks for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for inviting me.
Like I was sharing with you before we started filming, we're big fans of origin stories here. So, where are you from? How'd you get into, working towards being in the mental health field? I definitely want to hear about gymnastics and athletics for sure.
Okay. So I was born and raised here in Honolulu. I grew up in Kaimuki, and now I live in Palolo with my family. I graduated from Kalani High School. I'm a proud Kalani alum. And the reason I went into psych, well, my AP psych teacher, shout out to her. She's the whole reason why I'm in psych. Nice. I really love psychology in high school, took the class, did well in it, and I thought this is something that I could make a career out of. I just didn't really know what I wanted to do yet. So went to UCLA, got my undergrad in psychology, and then I came back here, and now I'm at the doctorate program at Chaminade. Yeah.
Nice. So what was the teacher's name?
Miss Kai Hui.
Miss Kai Hui, right on. No, we love that. Because actually I wanted to ask you at some point about mentors.
Yeah.
Anyhow. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about, your mentors for school and work.
Yeah. She's definitely one of them. We still keep in touch a lot. She knows. She knows she's the reason why.
Awesome.
She loves it. But yeah, definitely her. My dad definitely is another huge one. He's funded my education.
Right,
it's a
really,
really, really huge thing. And I really appreciate him for doing that. And he's been there every step of the way for me. And also my siblings and my really good friends all have supported me on my academic journey, which is awesome because I have a lot more to go. So,
what? I'm glad to hear about supportive family members because, so I grew up here too. Obviously, I'm a little older than you, but when I went to, I got the chance to go last summer to SAMHSA, like Substance Abuse Mental Health Services America, and it was for the AANHPI community and how to get more people into the field of mental health. And when I met all these people from around the country, now, granted, I'm mostly like Polynesian and Chinese and Irish, but I feel like I grew up mostly American, so as far as like those kind of pressures from your family or culture or whatever. But I heard from all across the country, different Asian American, Native Hawaiian folks being told about like the 3 jobs that you're supposed to get, right? Doctor, lawyer, and engineer.
Yes.
Did you feel any of those type of like pressures as a youth?
I did actually. So when I was at UCLA, I was a pre-med student before. But then I decided like after a year, like that's not really what I want to do. And I kind of felt like I was just doing it because it was something that maybe my family really wanted me to do. But after having that conversation with my dad, I think it was a little difficult, but he accepted it. And when I told him like what I wanted to do instead, he was super cool about it. So very thankful because I know like a lot of times that's not the case for some families whose kids don't want to do those 3 different careers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sure you have friends, classmates that's kind of what they've had to live through, right?
Yeah. And it's interesting to hear it from their perspective too, like how they've gone through it. Cause I know some of my classmates are going through like my friends are going through like a pre-med route and stuff like that. But I know a lot of them are like, no, I don't know if it's something that I want to do. So yeah.
So I got to ask you about world champion gymnast.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like that's like such a cool line. So, and yeah, tell us about your, gymnastics history.
Okay. So I started gymnastics when I was 7. I used to play soccer, but my parents were like, she's not very good at this, so let's put her in something else. So, yes, I started gymnastics when I was 7, and I made my first world's team in 2014. I was 11 years old, and then I was on the national team from 2015 all the way till my retirement in 2021. But yeah, competed at 4 world championships, and yeah, enjoyed every second of it. It was super fun.
That is crazy. Yeah. I love sports, which is why I had to ask you about, gymnastics. You said you stopped in 2021. That's like kind of crazy in my head, right? Because you start so young, but then you do it for a decade and you're still pretty young.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tend to equate like now, working in mental health and working in a clinic and now working with different therapists, providers, getting a chance to meet other community members. I probably use too many like sports, analogies and things like that. Do you kind of like the team sport aspect of, what you're doing now? Like what kind of work do you do now? I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you about it.
Yeah, I'm a case manager at Care Hawaiʻi, and then I'm like student at Chaminade. Yeah. So half and half.
How's like the case management thing going?
It's fine. It's great. Super flexible. My bosses are great. I am stopping in August because I have to go to practicum full time next year, my diagnostic practicum, and then I'm gonna just do school full time. But it's been a great experience.
It's been a pretty cool experience. Yeah, I think one thing for me, I'm newer to healthcare. I've been around since 2017 or so. Started working with a psychologist, and we started working together, and then now we work in our clinic. Yeah, I think for me, because I come from a sales background, I just saw a lot of the things that were similar, or where my previous experience would apply to being here in healthcare. But let me ask you, as you're going through your training, right, and your formal education, what are some things that maybe have been surprising, or surprising to you?
Oh my goodness. I think a lot. So I think honestly, even choosing this career path was surprising to me. I think, so I knew since I was little that I wanted to be a doctor of some kind. I just didn't know what I wanted to do yet. And I always tell my friends this story because I think I was tripping out about it the other day. But I remember in middle school, they had us write down what we wanted to do when we were older and what kind of degree we wanted. And I said doctoral degree. And all my classmates were like, you're crazy. Like no one wants to get a doctoral degree. And I was like, well, I'm going to do it. So it's kind of cool how like years later, like, it kind of came to fruition. Yeah. So I think that was a little bit surprising because I didn't know I was going to actually follow through on it, and I did. But I think also just looking back at my gymnastics experiences and how much that has influenced me to take this path as well, because I know a lot of the experience I had from that was also what influenced me to go into psychology as well. Just kind of seeing like the trauma and all of the not so good things about the gymnastics world. I kind of wanted to carry that experience over into my new profession and use it like to help other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kind of trauma that you're talking about in the gymnastics world, as you're in it, are there like friends, or people that that kind of, start sharing stuff with you and you kind of really start like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a current athlete representative for USA Gymnastics, and a lot of times people will like report like instances of like abuse, assault, anything like that to me. So it's been a huge thing. If you know like a little bit about the gymnastics world or about the Larry Nassar case, like it's been going on for a few years. So as an athlete rep, I guess like my job is just to be the voice for people that can't really have like a voice themselves. And it's been nice because, I get to be able to help protect the athletes that may not necessarily like have the power to be able to protect themselves.
Yeah.
So it's been nice.
And you know what? Speaking of that, if you're somebody who hears that, right? Let's say someone tells you about some sort of abuse.
Yeah.
Like what kind of practical advice do you have for the people that hear that, they just out of the blue?
I think the first thing is just always like validating how they're feeling, because I think a lot of times, unfortunately, in the gym world, it's like huge stigma that you don't really like report people, especially coaches with like high reputations, because it's honestly their word over yours most of the time, which is not, like, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it is the reality. Um, but when I talk to them, I make sure that they know that they have at least one person that supports them. If no one else, like if their parents don't support them, if their coaches don't support them, or teammates don't support them, like I support them. And, like I will help them do whatever it takes to either get them out of the situation or make sure that their situation is like heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Because I think obviously like we don't want those kind of things to happen. But then if you're, I don't want to say a bystander, but if your friend comes to you and tells you about something like that, it's like, oh man, I don't know what to do now. Right. And you don't want to invalidate right, their experience or any of that stuff. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Taking a little bit of a backtrack to like education, because I know you mentioned you went to UCLA, so I'm assuming you don't like USC for one. That's that's probably a fair assumption,
not my
right?
favorite.
Okay, not your favorite. Got it. I had an uncle who went to UCLA. He didn't even like the red and the yellow colors, like or whatever they're called.
Not in my color wheel.
Yeah. It's not in the color. Yeah, exactly. What? Tell us a little bit about, because you're born and raised here.
Yeah.
Island life on Oahu. Tell us about the going away experience for college and.
Yeah, it was really good. I think after going to school, I did realize how important my family was, which is why, like, whenever people ask me, like, who's influenced you the most, I'll say, like, my family, because they've been my biggest supporters. But it was good for me to go away and just be able to grow up a little bit. And I think it helped me to figure out who I was. Because around that time is when I retired from gymnastics. And retirement from gymnastics is really difficult, like, for any elite athlete, because it's your entire identity, your entire life. So figuring out what you want to do after that is super scary. But I think, like, choosing to go to an away college, like, pushed me to, like, do it faster and, like, more, like, efficiently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you know, like, gymnastics was over?
After my 5th World Championships, maybe, like, a year after that, during COVID, I would say, is when I made, like, the revelation, because my one goal in gymnastics was to become a world champion. Like, I knew, like, if nothing else, before I quit, I wanted to win a gold medal.
Yeah.
And in the past, I had gone to the other world championships and I had gotten 4th, like 3 or 4 times, I think, before I had gotten the gold medal. So I just told myself, I was like, you know what? You just need to win one time. And then after that, you can be done.
4th too, right? Like,
yeah.
Just so close to the podium.
It was awful. I had really bad luck, like, for a lot of years. But yeah, so I won my first gold medal in 2018. And then 2019, I won another gold medal. And then I think after that, during COVID, was when I realized, like, like, I don't want to just keep competing just to compete with no other goal in mind. Like, yes, it's nice, like, to win and stuff like that. But if I've already achieved everything I want to achieve, like, why not explore, like, the other things that are out there for me? So that was when I ultimately made the decision to stop.
Got it.
Yeah.
So would it be fair to say, not burnout, but kind of lost some fire then? Is that kind of what?
I think, yeah, I would say my passion for gymnastics has always been there. Like, that has never changed. But I think what did change was, like, my goals. And I think because I had accomplished everything that I wanted to in gymnastics already, and I was already dealing with a lot of, like, injuries, I told myself,
I was gonna ask
like,
about the physical stuff too.
Yeah, like, super chronic injuries, like, wasn't gonna go away unless I stopped. So I made the executive decision, like, I still want to walk when I'm 40, and, like, I still want to be able to, like, do all these, like, other things as well. So I thought, like, this is a good time to stop, and I wanted to end on a high note. So yeah.
Very cool. That mindset that you said when you're an elite athlete and then all of a sudden you're not, speak a little more on that, like the challenge of that.
Retirement, I feel like no one really talks about it, like, especially for, like professional athletes, but it's, like, the hardest thing that you ever have to do, because, I mean, like I said before, like, you're trying to figure out who you are without this sport that you have been doing for, like, years and years and years. Like, all you do is go to school, you go to gymnastics practice, you go home and sleep, or you go to gymnastics practice, go to the competition, come back, do the same thing all over again. So I think figuring out how to get out of that routine was the hardest part for me. Like, I remember being so bored and, like, wanting to go back, because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do right now. But once I got to college, it got a lot easier. I joined a dance team. I got to explore, like, other things I wanted to do. And I got to focus more on school, which was always something that I wanted to do after I was done with gymnastics. So, yeah.
So now I got to ask you, so what do you do to work out now?
I weightlift. I weightlift with the same trainer who was training me when I was a gymnast.
Nice.
So, yeah.
What kind of weightlifting? Like Olympic weightlifting or like just lift weights?
Just I don't know, like lift weights.
Lift weights.
But yeah, he's pretty intense.
Okay. I had to ask because actually, this is the first time I've gotten to interview somebody, and we've never talked before.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is our first time talking, other than hello.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know this about me, so I love CrossFit. Been doing it for 10 years. Own a CrossFit gym. So that's why I was like asking, what kind of workout do you do? Because gymnasts usually make really awesome CrossFitters.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know if I could do CrossFit.
It's okay. That's always like to ask. So big lifts or whatever. Yeah. So now you're going to school, first year, doctoral student, right? Almost done with that. Undergrad stuff is done, and doing case management. Right now, where you're at, professionally, let's call it, and for me, I didn't go to school. So I just was a salesperson right out of high school, basically, all the way up until basically I can still say that now. Yeah. I'm in my 40s now. So I think of school as also part of your professional world. So for your work right now, what's like the biggest challenge that you're facing?
I'm not gonna lie, it's really scary because I'm the youngest one in my program. So I'm definitely faced a lot of imposter syndrome because I look like a middle schooler compared to like everyone else. But
I'm saying,
yeah. So it's been really scary. I knew going into it, that's why that I was probably gonna be the youngest one there, because I remember showing up to interview day and I was like, yeah, I don't like I don't know I belong here. But I've been able to handle it better. I've had really supportive classmates that, they don't even care like about age, which is really nice because, I've heard of some other programs where people are not really like that. So it's been really nice. So I think that was probably the biggest challenge in the beginning. And yeah, it's actually been okay.
Pretty cool after that first kind of hurdle.
Yeah.
How did you like deal with that? Because honestly, I think a lot of us deal with that, man, I'm not supposed to be here, type of thing. So how do you deal with it when it comes up?
I just kept working hard. I feel like that was the same attitude I had when I was a gymnast. And I just told myself, like if you want to prove that you're a good student and it doesn't matter like how old you are, like you just like do the best work that you can and they'll recognize it. And I feel like they have, like I feel like I've been putting my best foot forward. I've been turning in great work. Like I got matched to my #1 practicum site. So I feel like the hard work has been paying off. So just keep doing what I'm doing, I guess.
That's why I love athletes, man. That's why I love athletes, man. I'm always a little biased towards that because that's kind of just how our brain works, right? I can only control what I can control. And that's working hard and learning skills and practice and mess it up and do it again.
Yeah.
Right. And then when you see progress, like,
right?
I'm making progress. So awesome. I know you're still like in the middle of all the schooling and then especially at the beginning of the doctorate program. But from what you've learned so far and been exposed to so far, are there areas within, behavioral health and psychology that you're kind of you're more interested in than others? Yeah,
definitely sports psych.
Okay.
Because I feel like I would be able to offer like a unique perspective just with my experiences being a gymnast, and then also forensics. So I got placed at Family Strengthening Center next year for my diagnostic practicum.
Cool.
So
one of our therapists works there.
Oh, yeah. So definitely interested in the forensic field, and we're gonna just see how it plays out next year. If I like it, I'm just gonna keep going and
and stay open to the
possibilities. But definitely open like to like a lot of stuff because it is like practically like my first year. So it's just like figuring out what I want to do. And I don't know.
Yeah. I know it's still early, but do you plan on, once you're through all this stuff, do you plan on like staying here and trying to work in the field here or?
Yeah, definitely. I think Hawaiʻi is my home and I can't really imagine being anywhere else. And it pays pretty good, which is nice. But yeah, definitely want to stay here, if anything. Nice. Yeah.
So we got connected because my business partner saw you speak.
Yeah.
Saw you speak at this international convention down there in Waikiki that they hold. I didn't get a chance to go because I wasn't here. I was actually on the East Coast at that time because originally I was supposed to go. But what did you speak about?
Yeah, so I presented on Stockholm Syndrome and elite gymnastics between athletes and coaches.
Dang. Yeah. I was impressed. Number one, I was super impressed that you tried to speak at the thing, right? Because like you said, you're not very old, which is what it is. And I know plenty of career, licensed providers that honestly have been too nervous or maybe even too scared to attempt to, put in the application or whatever it is so you can get a chance to speak at a big conference. So what brought all that about?
Well, my professor told us about the conference like in the beginning of the year. And then at first I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Like, I don't have time to do it. But as I thought about it more, because he actually assigned us to do like a capstone project, and he told us, you can use a capstone and you can present it at the conference or try like apply for the conference. So I told myself, like, if I'm already doing the capstone, like I should just submit and see what happens. Didn't think I was gonna get accepted, by the way. So when I got the email, I was like, oh, like,
oh damn,
like,
it's real
accepted. But I was really excited. Like my family was thrilled, like, because I don't think like anyone in our like besides my cousin, like who's in the pre-med track right now, like none of us have ever gotten to really present at a conference before. Yeah. So I thought, I was like, okay, well, that's pretty cool. But now I got to speak in front of people, so let's like figure out what to do. But yeah, I think I kind of just had the same mentality that I had when I competed. Like, like I've competed in front of like thousands of people before. Like this is gonna be fine, Yeah. So I just kept the same attitude. Not saying I wasn't nervous during the presentation, because I know I was sweating before and I was just like, oh my God. But it ended up going really well and I enjoyed my experience. I would definitely do it again.
Yeah. My business partner was so impressed. That's how we got connected.
Yeah.
She was just so blown away by your presentation. How was the feedback, from all the participants there?
They were super nice.
Nice.
Thankfully, nothing bad. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Very cool.
But yeah, I thought it went really well for my first presentation, and yeah, it was a good experience.
Nice. Yeah. And we also know the people who run Spill the Tea Cafe.
Yeah,
down in town. Did I see that you were a teen mentor down there for a few years now?
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience.
I'm not working there as much now, like because of school and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's been super cool. Kiki and Halen are awesome. But yeah, I'm proud of the work they've done. They started off like 2 years ago, and the business has really grown so much since then. And it's been awesome to see like how many people have continued like to come and how it's continuing to grow and will continue to grow. And being able to meet so many different teens, because I also would be interested in working with teens too. So being able to work with them and seeing like the unique things that they go through, especially like in the LGBTQ community, it's been very eye-opening. So I'm really thankful for my experience there.
Yeah. No, I love the work they do down there.
Yeah.
And like I was sharing with you, I got a chance to go to their grand opening and try to follow everything that they're posting, message with, with Halen and Kiki. I got a chance to have lunch with them a couple months back and whatever. And then they were guests on the podcast.
Yeah.
Right? Filmed yesterday, but who knows when it actually releases. But yeah. So let me ask you this, because with as you're going through the field, right? To be honest, you're the youngest person that I've interviewed so far.
Oh.
For the show. But, so that, like, to me, I was just, being transparent as the host, that presents like little different challenges, right? Because like, there's not 20 years of us to talk about stuff. But what I do know and believe is there's always, it's like an old like judo thing or jujitsu thing. It's like the plus minus equals, you've heard kind of like that, right? Someone you're chasing, or, your mentor, someone is your equal that you compete with, and then someone who's behind you that you're trying to mentor and pull up, right? As everyone moves up. So if for other, let's say for like teens out there, aspiring therapists, counselors, social workers, whatever they want to do in the helping field, what's like your 3 best pieces of advice for an aspiring youth out there who wants to kind of follow the track that you're on?
Yeah. I think the first one is definitely remembering that it's not easy, but it's not impossible. Because like, my dad tells me this every time I come home, and I'm like, oh my God, I know what happened at school today. But he always, like, in his like Hawaiian, like in his local accent, he'd be like, well, did you think it was going to be easy? And I'd be like, no. But yeah, it's not an easy track to do. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of mental work and a lot of physical work. And it's just like, you can feel exhausted at times, but don't give up just because it's not easy. Like nothing good has like come to those like where something was just easy, if that makes sense.
That's right.
So that would be my first thing. I don't know. Oh my God, what would I tell? If I was talking to myself, actually, I wonder what I would tell myself.
What would you tell your undergrad self or your high school self?
The second one is there's always going to be people that don't want to support you, but value the people that do support you, because they're the ones that are going to help you make it through, and don't pay attention to the ones that don't. Like, they're not relevant in your story. like spend time on the people that will water your seed and help you grow, and not tear you down. That would be my second one. And third one is self-care. And we actually talked about this in our ethics class the other day. Self-care is like an actual like ethical like requirement by the APA. Like you should be self-caring. Although it might seem super simple, like I think a lot of times, especially if you're in a program like this, it can be really hard to find time to do it, but you really got to find time because like it can get exhausting, like I said. And there's a lot of things that we need to do that we might not necessarily want to do, but we have to do it in order to get where we want to get to. So self-care, like for me, I just like playing with my dog or taking a nap. That's my form of self-care. But for other people, it might be other things. But I always try to tell people like to try at least put it in your routine when, yeah.
When you can, yeah. Nice. I was going to ask you, what are your favorite like self-care activities?
Yeah. I love sleeping.
Nice.
Not gonna lie, that's my self-care activity.
For me, because there's a lot of people who could definitely use that self-care advice. I know a handful of licensed providers who could really use that advice. Self-care, APA said so. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think for me, I like singing, which someone just reminded me. Don't forget, you like singing, which I believe I'm going karaoke sometime soon. So I love that.
Oh,
That's
I
going to be
love
good.
karaoke.
Yeah, it's going to be good for the spirit. It's going to be good for the spirit. I also, oddly enough, of course, I love sports. I love watching it and all that. But I got back into professional wrestling recently.
Oh,
Something
yeah,
super
yeah.
random, man. Like when I was a kid and also an adolescent, I used to watch a ton of that. Got out of it for most of my adult life, and then just got back into it this year.
Oh, okay. Wow, super
So
cool.
I just like watch tons of that stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, between singing, of course, working out, but sometimes working out feels like work, not exactly like fun self-care, but all three of those things, those are kind of my things,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Something for like the general people, public, whatever, the community out there. At this moment, from your experience, what are some like general misconceptions about mental health?
Yeah.
And share some of that.
Okay, so I think I can speak from my experience, like growing up in an Asian American household, but I think growing up Asian American, like mental health doesn't really exist in Asian American culture. It does, but I think, especially like Japanese culture, it's not really something that's emphasized. Another reason why I went into Psych too is I kind of wanted to break that stigma within Asian American families. So that's one of them. And yeah, I would honestly say age too. Like you're not like too young or too old to be going into the mental health field. It is like a developing like field and there's a lot of changes, but that's like what I love about it. It's like it's always a growing field and you're never going to stop learning. But yeah, you're never too young to go into the field and learn as much as you can. Yeah.
What are some things you think we can do to help reduce that stigma? Because it's there for sure.
Yeah. Well, therapy. I know like with on a more serious like with my family, like I know I go to therapy because when I maybe have a family of my own one day, like I don't want to carry that same like stigma onto my family. And that's how you break the cycle is you go to therapy or you talk to people and get the education on what mental health is and why it's important and why it's important for your future family, your current family. But yeah, like psychoeducation I think is really important. And as with age, I don't know, schools should just accept more younger people if they apply. Yeah.
If they're qualified, I mean, really, who cares how old they are, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of the deal. No, I'm glad you mentioned going to therapy because I think we're in this kind of weird transition period where my generation and up, right? So whatever you want to call that, but I'm in my 40s. So my age and up, we started using the messages about mental health and take care and so on and so on. And we've done such a good job of it, actually, that the people behind us, so more like your age-ish, talk about it. Talk about it a lot, right? Like it seems to be very common, at least in my experience,
Absolutely.
Professionally and, anecdotally. But now I think there's this weird, like, we kind of miscommunicate with each other now, right? Because just working at our clinic, I know we meet tons of young adults and adolescents that try to have these conversations with their parents, right? Who are 35, 40 and up, but they're not exactly on the same page. Yeah. Share a little bit, of what you've seen in that with that.
Yeah. I'd have some similar experiences too. I I know like my family isn't as much into the mental health field, and while like, you know, they support everything that I want to do, you know, some people just don't necessarily understand it, and that's okay. I think the main thing for me, at least when I go to therapy, is like I want to be able like to better myself and better like my future.
Yeah.
Because I may not necessarily be able to change like what has happened in the past, what has happened before, but like I can change like what happens moving forward. And I think for me, like that's what I think about. Because you can't change other people, but you can change like the way that you think and how you perceive things. And I think that's like it's important.
What kind of advice would you give to somebody who's, let's just say, older? Because not all older people are like this either. But what kind of advice would you give to like an older person, right? A parent, you know, and they're trying to hear their kid, their child talk about this stuff.
Have an open mind. Because while things in your generation may have worked for you, things in a new generation may not necessarily work for your child. Like I said, like psychology is a changing field, but the world is also changing too. Mm-hmm. And if you stay set in your ways with how like you were raised, and it might not necessarily be okay like for now, like, you know, that can really ruin like the relationship that like you have like with your child. So I would say like have an open mind, and you may not agree with everything that your child wants to do, but at least try to come to a point where you can respect it, you know?
Actually, something you said reminded me of one of my favorite quotes, and I want to kind of mess it up because I can never remember it verbatim, but it's essentially like the most dangerous sentence in our language is because it's always been that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know what's crazy? That's a 100-year-old quote from a woman named Admiral Grace Hopper. That I'll never forget because it just blew me away. It just reminds me that we often think, right, no matter how old we are, that what we're going through is like super unique, like it's never happened before in time, but that's not true. Like over history, there's some kind of parallel with all this stuff. And every generation kind of has to go through, you know, letting the previous generation know like things are a little different. And us as middle-aged folks, we got to remember that too, you know, that, you know, we grew up in an era before internet and the smartphone, right? And younger people did not. I mean, like there's more information available to you guys. And I think it's a great thing. I think we live in an amazing time, you know, but it's like there's pluses and minuses, right?
Yeah.
Because some things come so easily or convenient, which, you know, I think sometimes makes it hard to maybe work harder than you could, right? Anyway, I don't want to be that young people are lazy type of person because I don't believe that either. But there's plenty of people my age that are lazy because of how convenient everything is. But it's great. I think overall it's great. And like you said, your field is constantly changing and the world is constantly changing and even faster now than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know? Yeah. So awesome. Talking about mental health, because for the most part, that's the bulk of what our show is about for the most part. What kind of like, we'd love to hear some like tips. You know what? How about some like tips for the athletes out there? Because I know you said sports psych is interesting.
Yeah.
You know, mental health, sports, right? All of that. What kind of like tips you got for us?
Yeah. Okay. Well, self-care once again. Athletes, I'm talking to you because I know it's really hard to do it, especially when you are in like the gym or at your practice like 7 days a week, 4 hours a day. I totally get it. But do try your best because I think it can work wonders for your mental and your physical health too, because we're always dealing with injuries. That, and also spend time doing things outside of outside of the gym that you enjoy doing. If you like playing other sports, like you can play other sports. If you like hanging out with your friends, like definitely do that. Make time for your social life, because I think what I had wished, looking back at it when I was still in gymnastics, I wish I made more time like for my friends, or I made more time like to hang out with my friends and be a high schooler, because I didn't really get to do that. I was traveling all the time.
Yeah, we're not talking about young adulthood. We're talking about adolescence.
Yeah. So I think make time for that, because I mean, you don't want to look back later and be like, oh, I should have done that. I should have gone to prom. I should have gone to my senior dance or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can I ask you something about that? That just reminded me of something I saw in an interview. Totally different field, but same idea, right? Athletic type of field, high achieving. And these guys, and actually a friend of mine is a super high achiever in his athletic field, the highest achiever. And he has some of those regrets, missing some of those things. But at the same time, he also says, there's no way I would have been great without it. Yeah. Yeah. So what would you kind of, your experience, you know?
So I got lucky, and thankfully the school events I had didn't like clash with like my competitions.
Nice.
Some did, and I was like sad about not being able to go. But I think like yes, I think there are times where that's what it takes to be a really good athlete, and if that's the sacrifice you want to make, like do it, because like that's your goal. You want to go to the Olympics, and you can't go to prom, like go to the Olympics. You know what I mean? I think I'm talking less about like big events and more just like those little hangouts that you have with your friends after school, or even just like going to the mall with them, or like going to the beach, or stuff like that. Because yes, you might miss out on the big events and it might suck, you know, but at least you're in the middle of your all like craziness of competing and practicing, like you're at least making time to hang out with your friends and like be with them and enjoy your time, where you can just be stress-free and not have to think about doing gymnastics or just competing.
Yeah. You know what? Thank you for that difference, because I've not heard it put that way before. It's usually always put in the you missed the big event stuff, right? But okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, where you might be tired because it was a long day of training and school, like for what you were doing, but then you got like go watch a movie at 7:15 p.m. or something, right?
Exactly.
So instead of just like just go.
It's the little, I would say it's the little things. Like that's why I say little hangouts, because it might just be like one hangout a week or something like that. But I feel like that can like do so much for you and like for your health, like in a good way, because you're stuck in that gym for like 3 or 4 hours every day. Like you're stuck with the same people. You are bound to drive yourself nuts. Like I'm not kidding. And if you don't make time like to hang out with the other people outside of the gym that you know, and you can just talk about normal teenager things, like it can be really difficult. So that's why I would say try to have a social life if you can. Yeah. Like hang out with friends.
I like that. Little hangouts.
Yeah.
So it's not a pressure of this whole weekend.
Yeah, you don't gotta have like a planned schedule, you know, but like maybe like once a week would be good. Yeah.
Just a little bit of something. I like that. Thank you for that. Any other advice for our athletes out there?
I guess as an athlete myself and with things that I've gone through, this is less related to mental health, but like if you have a goal, like, okay, this sounds so cliche. If you have a goal, like keep going. I know, like I can speak from experience, and all those times I got 4th place, like it sucked, and those are kind of the hurdles that you need to go through if you want to be at the level that you want to be at, if you want to be at the world level, if you want to be at the international level. Don't give up just because like you had like one little like slip up, you know what I mean? Because it's not the end of the world. Like you can always go back next year. There's always going to be another Worlds. There's always going to be another Olympics. But once you quit, like that's it. You can't really do anything else after that. So continue going, even if it seems hard right now, because it does work out in the end.
Yeah. No, I love that. And honestly, I think that's great advice. So to me, like when I think about mental health, so my own journey, I've been sober almost 10 years now. October 1st, 2014. Thank you. Yeah. Will be my 10-year anniversary, knock on wood and all that. But to me, all the things that helped me not just get sober, but stay sober were all related to mental health.
Yeah.
Actual therapists, so like clinical, all that, went to IOP treatment or the whole clinical thing. That's fine. It was great. No, I don't mean to like put it off like that. It was great. It was awesome. But then I also had, I joined CrossFit at the same time, community of people, right? Trying to build healthy habits. I love working out. Friends in AA, right? Alcoholics Anonymous, that whole deal. And then all the personal development stuff. Like I've been listening to Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar and all the, that stuff, we'll call it, for almost 20 years now. And to me, when I mix it all up for myself, that equals my mental health, my chosen family, friends, the self-care stuff we talked about, right? Some singing, some like hanging out with people, some funny things that you like pro wrestling, right? All those things kind of matter. So the thing that you said, I love it. Between sports and sales and now business, which sales and business kind of the same, if you ask me, the advice that you just gave, the thing you said about keep going, that's like, that applies, man. It really does. Cause one of the favorite things I heard about business recently, is like, we want to do these things where our record will be like 12 wins, 2 losses, right? Or we want to win 20 times and maybe get 1 loss. But the reality is, especially if you're going to go do something on your own, you're going to get like 4,000 wins and 3,500 losses. It's going to be super piled up. But the real goal is, let's just try and win a little more than we lose, right?
I feel like people don't talk about that either, is because I feel like if you think of any really good athlete, like they weren't winning all the time before they started winning. Like, and you know, I had the same experience too. Like, I wasn't winning. But if I had stopped gymnastics before, like, I allowed that to happen, like, I would have never known, like, what would happen. So that's why it does sound very cliche. And I know, like, your parents probably tell you, like, don't quit, like, don't give up. Yeah. But it's, like, it's true.
Like, parent speak or coach talk, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't you quit?
Why did I quit?
Why did you not?
Why did I not
quit? When you're getting these fourth places,
gosh.
you know? Because that's like, like you said, it sucks. Like, you're not even on the podium.
God,
you're like,
awful.
The podium's over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wanted to win, and I'm very stubborn. So when I tell someone that I'm gonna do something, when I tell someone I'm going to achieve something, like, I'm gonna do it, like, no matter what. I don't care, like, how long it's gonna take. I don't care, like, what it's gonna take. Like, I'm going to do it. So when I told myself after my first Worlds, when I got fourth place, you know what? Like, I don't want this to happen again. It did happen again, but I was like, I want to win. Yeah, I think that's what kept me going, was just like I think envisioning what it would be like to be like a winner, I think was what helped me, because, you know, like, I allowed myself like to sulk and everything after I lost, and it was like, it was not fun, like, for a few months. Honestly, it took a while.
Yeah.
Every single time that I lost, like, it took a really long time, like, to come back from it. But I remember telling myself, you know, like, don't lose sight of like the main goal, which is like to win like a gold medal. And like, you can keep trying as many times as you want. Like, you don't only have like 3 tries and then like you can't compete anymore.
Right.
Like, you know, you can keep going. So like, why are you going to stop when you can continue to try and try and try until you get it, you know?
Yeah. No, I love that. Because either you're going to get it, right? Or you're not, or your body's going to tell you, no, we're done, right?
Yeah.
But I think you don't want that regret of.
Not at all. And I knew that it was something that I had to do and something that I wanted to accomplish like in my life. And so I just kept going and worked out.
Right on, Kayttie. You know, as we started heading towards the end of the interview, there was something I was going to ask you, and then I kind of got sidetracked, because I really love some of what you were saying about, you know, trying to make something happen no matter what.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get out of my own head. I was just thinking about the work that I'm doing now, because transparently, like, our company did not do good last year.
Yeah.
But then this year, I'm doing the things that I can control, and I don't care what it takes. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to will it into existence.
Yeah.
So like, as you're talking, I'm like, oh yeah, Kayttie, let's go. Right?
Yes.
Like, dab it up. Let's go.
Yes. Stubbornness does come in handy sometimes. I mean, not all the time.
It really does. Yeah.
Like, it does. Like,
it's like, do you feel like, actually, you know, I'm glad you brought that up. With that kind of, if you want to call it stubbornness, competitiveness, whatever you want to call it, that drive, I totally know it's a strength. But do you find it hard to get it managed so it doesn't, you know, hurt you too much?
Yes, because sometimes I don't know when to quit, even though like I should stop. Most of the time it's worked in my favor, but there have been times where I was just like, yeah, I probably should have stopped sooner, and I just didn't want to because I really wanted to like make it work. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just learning lessons, right? Yeah. Put it in the lost column, but that's okay. We just keep it moving.
Yeah.
And keep going.
But I honestly think like my stubbornness is like one of the reasons I got into the program. My professors are watching this. No, I didn't say that. But stubborn as in like, it was the same thing as like World Championships, right? I told myself like, I'm going to get into this program, and if I don't get in this year, like I'm going to just keep trying. And like hopefully one year, like I just need to get one yes. You know what I mean? Right. And that's all it's going to take. But I think like my stubbornness, and like what I mean is like, it's what helped me like to get to where I was, because if I wasn't so like persistent about like what the things that I wanted, I don't think I would be like where I am today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Right on, Kayttie. Getting fired up. So let me ask you tell me about some of the people you look up to.
Oh my goodness. A lot of people.
Yeah. Let's go with like maybe 3, right? It's always a good classic number, 3. Like 3 people you look up to, and why?
Well, my psych teacher, she's definitely one of them. Yeah, she's honestly like a second mother to me. She's been like an amazing mentor, and like I said, like the reason why I got into this field. And honestly, like when I graduate, like I'm hoping that like she can be there at my graduation to see me get my degree. Like that would be really cool. So my dad, you know, like he's made a lot of sacrifices.
Shout out to Dad.
Yep.
You got mentioned a lot.
He's a single parent, so and there's 3 of us. So I know like definitely could not have been easy for him. But you know, like he's never failed to show up. And I hope that when I become like a parent, like I can be the same way. I can always show up for my kids. My third one, probably Halen, actually, because
yeah, right.
She's a girl boss, like
yeah.
CEO, like she's like everything that I want to be like in the future, like own my own clinic, like run my own clinic, be able to do like the work that I want to do.
Yeah.
But
right on. You know, I didn't realize Dad was single dad.
Yeah.
We mostly hear about single moms. So man, for real, a lot of kudos, flowers, credit, you know, positive vibes out. Right on, Dad. Yeah, right on, Dad. Right on. Awesome. So before I ask you our final question, we have this like signature question. So
okay.
Yeah. Before I get that, I just wanted to say, number one, thanks for coming here. I'm glad we got a chance to talk story.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we got to connect on email only before this. It was really cool to hear about your presentation, number one, right? And then my partner just kept talking about, and she was like a world-class gymnast, and I'm like, wait, what's that again? So then, you know, kind of start, you know, look you up and all that. And thank you for sharing what you did today about your, you know, your athletic experience, you know, why you're getting into the field, why it matters to you. And like I was saying to you before we started filming, the field needs you. It really does. You know, it needs people like you from here, appreciate mental health field, want to give back and help the community out. And honestly, too, our community needs more therapists that look like the people in the community, right? I mean, and it's not unique to us. I know there are other communities same, but you know, for us, I think when I talked to Halen yesterday, she gave me this stat, and I'm sure you've heard it, some version of it. It's something like 350 or 360 kids to one therapist, right? And that's just, and to me, those are just like the kids that are looking for help. That doesn't even count all the kids that could use it, probably need it, but maybe don't know how, or even what do you call it? There's another barrier, like a parent stopping them, you know, from getting the help. So the whole field really needs, you know, more dedicated, you know, people from here willing to help. So I'm glad you're on your journey.
Yes.
I love it.
I love it.
We're a practicum site.
Yes.
We're here.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
No, awesome. And then either way, would love to stay connected. Happy to help, guide, coach, mentor, connect you with whoever's. I know you got a lot of great mentors in your life, and you'll meet more as your schooling goes on. But we'd be happy to be a resource for you. For real.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
mean
that.
Yeah. So here, our signature question.
Oh, I'm scared.
The name of our show is called Listen to Your Heart.
Oh, okay.
So Kayttie, when you listen to your heart, what's it saying?
Get your degree as fast as you can.
As fast as you can.
Let me think. Listen to your heart.
Yeah. When you listen to your heart, what does it say?
I think be happy. And the way I can be happy is getting my degree. But just doing all the other things that I've been doing now, which I really enjoy, which is spending time with my family and my friends. They're huge like fuel for me, and definitely keep me strong. But continuing to do what I've been doing in school and continuing to pursue this pathway, because it really does make me happy, like being able to do something that I love, and being able to give back. So I think that's my way of honoring what my heart is like telling me to do. You know? Awesome,
Kayttie.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. And thanks for being here, for real. And thank you for tuning in to Listen to Your Heart. If you'd like to help our mission, check out the link in our bio to visit our store or make a donation to our nonprofit, Imua Heart. Like, comment, and share with friends and family. Subscribe for future episodes, and together we can Imua towards a happier, healthier Hawaii. Until next time, mahalo.